Welcome to the Zoetis instructional video for Sheepguard Long Acting Injector. Sheepguard Long Acting is a Moxidectin injectable drench to control sheepworms up to 3 months in sheep over 20 kilograms at a dose rate of 1 ml per 20 kilograms. To ensure you maximise the effectiveness of your long-acting drench and reduce the risk of developing resistance, responsible use should be understood and implemented. Best practice long-acting drench use begins with a priming drench of StarTect coinciding with the long-acting drench treatment. The primer drench should contain the newest drench group so it will kill resistant worms and enable the long-acting drench to work effectively. Fecal egg counts at 30, 60 and 90 days will give an early indication of resistant worms to the long-acting drench. If found, an effective tail cutter drench or exit drench will be required. Sheepguard Long Acting requires a specific Moxidectin Long Acting Injector to ensure accuracy and longevity. Prior to drenching, read the label first, as every drench has a unique label and steps that need to be followed. Always read the label, as it explains the parasites the drench can kill, the level of reinfection protection, steps for the safety of the animal, the environment and the operator, how to store the drench, and how to dispose of used containers. Sheepguard Long Acting is a stable solution that only requires a quick shake prior to use. Check the expiry date on all drenches to ensure that it's in date. Check the meat and milk withhold periods and the export slaughter interval to ensure it's consistent with your management plans. Sheepguard Long Acting has a meat withholding period of 91 days and an ESI, an export slaughter interval, of 133 days. When using Sheepguard Long Acting, it's important that you take your time, calmly handle the animals and ensure that human safety is of priority. Correctly using the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector will increase your safety, reduce the risk of adverse events and improve the overall experience. If you or someone you're working with observes a suspected adverse event, including human exposure or an animal reaction with any Zoetis product, please contact the product support team on 1800 814 883. Before you organise drenching, you should ideally know the level of worms in your sheep and what species of worms are present. Fecal egg counts are important in determining the level of adult internal parasite burden and providing valuable information to influence the drenching decision. Drench resistant affects every farm in Australia, and you should know what drenches work at higher than 95% on your farm. For the best practice long-acting drench program, use a StarTect primer drench, fecal egg counts and a tail cutter drench if required. For best practice drenching, the idea is to deliver the correct amount of Sheepguard Long Acting to the individual sheep weight. To achieve this, you should weigh the sheep or at least drench to the heaviest weight in the mob. If there's more than 15 kilograms weight difference within the mob, draft the sheep into different weight groups. And remember, Sheepguard Long Acting is only to be used on sheep greater than 20 kilograms. It's important to set up the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector correctly and undertake regular maintenance for the best results and for user safety. Treat the applicator as if there's always a needle attached to reduce the risk of accidental human exposure. To remove or attach a needle, use a Zoetis orange needle tool or a pair of pliers. Check if the barrel is tight on the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector. Tighten clockwise if needed. Calibration is important no matter if it's a vaccinator, a drenching applicator or even your weigh scales. The device must be calibrated prior to use every time as this will ensure accurate dosing and minimise wastage. To calibrate your Sheepguard Long Acting Injector, ensure there is no needle attached, connect the draw-off tube and then place the open end in clean water. Set the dose at 1 ml. To prime the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector, point the injector downwards and pump until the air is eliminated and the barrel fills completely with water. Carefully finish priming in an upward position until the barrel completely fills with water. Test the dose accuracy by using a graduated measuring receptacle such as a cough medicine container. Firstly, apply 20 full doses of water into the measuring receptacle. This should equal 20 mils. There may be a fault if this doesn't occur. With a fail, check the setup and retry. If the vaccinator fails again, change to another Sheepguard Long Acting Injector. Zoetis injectable drenches are registered for use with a draw-off tube. For best practice attachment of the draw-off tube for Sheepguard Long Acting, make a pilot hole in the rubber stopper of the bottle by piercing it with a sharp sterile new needle. Insert the spigot fixed to the middle of the black clip cap into the centre of the rubber stopper. To prime the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector with drench, ensure no needle is attached, point the injector downwards and squeeze the handle to fill the barrel, and then upwards for the final prime until the air is eliminated and the barrel is filled completely with drench. For air pockets in the draw-off tube, gently shake the drench bottle while it's above the injector until the air recedes back into the Sheepguard Long Acting bottle. When the pack's getting low, you can allow air into the Sheepguard Long Acting bottle to help empty the last bit of drench. When changing to a new pack, ensure a new draw-off tube is used every time. Needle selection is important for best practice Sheepguard Long Acting injectable drenching. You must use the shortest needle possible to ensure delivery under the skin in the subcutaneous space without injuring the muscle. Zoetis recommends you use a 1/4 inch or 6mm needle and administer with the injector at 45 degrees. This will direct the treatment into the subcutaneous space, ensuring the drench reaches maximum efficacy while minimising any risk of site reactions. If the sheep has more than 50mm wool length, inject the drench at 90 degrees to allow the 1/4 inch 6mm needle to easily penetrate the wool and skin and deliver the drench into the subcutaneous area. To attach the needle, use a Zoetis orange needle tool, the needle cap or a pair of needle nose pliers. It's best to attach the needle with the bevel parallel with the skin. Change your needles regularly, about every 50 to 100 doses during the day, or if the needle becomes burred or dirty, to make sure that the drench doesn't cause any site reactions. Make sure you place your used needles into a sharps container. For 20 kilo plus lambs or adult sheep, the animals must be tight in the race, or preferably use a sheep handler so that their movement is restricted but without any undue stress to the animal. The drench is registered to be given at the base of the ear in the fatty tissue area. You must avoid the eye, the ear, the salivary gland, lymph nodes and cartilage. Put the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector on its side so you have visibility of the injection area and the needle. Inject at 45 degrees to the skin on the side of the neck. Inject the Sheepguard Long Acting at the base of the ear in the fatty tissue in a smooth action. Do not use Sheepguard Long Acting in sheep lighter than 20 kilograms or in low body condition score. Sheepguard Long Acting is safe to administer and then transport the sheep. However, always ensure the sheep have adequate feed and water available when possible to reduce animal stress. Clean-up and maintenance of these drenching applicators should be undertaken at the end of the day's work. Always use gloves when cleaning your equipment. Ensure there's no needle attached or product remaining in the applicator or the draw-off tube, for your safety and that of anyone around you. Have a container of adequate size filled with clean warm water and mild detergent. While wearing your gloves, insert the applicator into the water. Prime it with the exit and entry orifices remaining underwater. Next, gently squeeze the handle 20 to 30 times. Remove and inspect. The Sheepguard Long Acting Injector barrel can be removed and more thoroughly cleaned by unscrewing the barrel. Wash this thoroughly to remove all material. The front valve can also become blocked. Unscrew the green needle assembly, inspect and clean. Rinse with clean fresh water before reassembling the injector. To reassemble, apply oil to the O-ring of the Sheepguard Long Acting Injector, then reattach the barrel tightly. Apply a drop of oil into the inlet spigot and then pump the handle several times. Always dispose of your needles correctly in a certified sharps container. Injectors and empty product packs should be wrapped in paper and carefully placed in landfill garbage. For storage, always clean and lubricate the injectors and keep in a clean, dry place, and they'll be ready to go when you next need them. Thank you very much for watching. I trust you've found this informative, and if you have any questions, please visit Livestock Solutions on the Zoetis website for further information.